dear pa. How far say dear?
And I sit in them and near mom. Yeah.
SHEAR what they are also natural. And yeah, if I say so that's when so maybe you get that. Maybe a share them and I said them and integration of food. I went there to get it so bad for food. And it's my first already, we could have and let you know you soon. But today we share the SHEAR farmers in India. We get the trains in India and the last year. We also, yeah, help also. Sapala, my Palanca, the other person way. No so Castle Bay say Yaman, and when you do a woman, Palani, a woman, no one can sign show, one can sign Yana from saying the mom, Apalani, and say your best way.
Your marketing just and then they come to I can't. Se we never to home and the infant is good, the infant is you almost know what is here. You ask, usually we go about now so that if you have your own SHEAR families, the end of the day, the person will say, through this baby, time with the grass. It may even do us here, but you can be able to use it and see what. Good. If we are going to move our own way, that's our mission, of course. Now I am sure.
That she has to must not first of lifting up heavy objects. When you carry bucket of water to the bathroom to bath, maybe cooking and all those things. She was asked to avoid all those because at that initial stage, once you begin to do that, there's likelihood of pregnancy.
Is it the doctors who told you?
Yeah.
For example, yes, why you do there are certain kind of pesticides. You fertilizers are one year pregnant one that is sensitive to sugar. And which is me, Emma Brano, Kenya, every year, but we did where I'm normal. It's me them. Deformity, because it's opening my chemicals, you know, the lots of the farming, unless we are doing your chemical, unless you are sure there's that chemical and hard. Some kind of chemical and no, I think you don't quite find it. Now, our friend will be playing. Position of it. Don't say being. Prescription being. Until everything being so I am.
Get a better life for himself or herself, as well as the society. And this will also go a long way to also help to reduce the issue of child labor in our society. Yeah, that is you knowing the value of your child.
Okay. All right. So the farmers are going to benefit more on this. Because they are already through this education to know the value of their children and be able to bring them up in a better way.
Types of parenting. We also took them through physical abuses, emotional abuses, sexual abuses that children will do. Why are we doing all this? Because we believe that when farmers in these communities understand the value of their children and the role that they have to play as children, it will go a long way to reduce child labor. Because parents are aware and an issue with their fully responsible as parents do not advise child, but they know what they stand to benefit when they are intentional in raising their children. So that their children cannot benefit only themselves, but society, Ghana, and then even as society around almost 9 years. Had a wonderful session. You've said a lot of things. I hope to come here to Hello, this is Radiant Parenting. We are honored to come your way with a wonderful program. Yes, a program that will excite you. And for me, this program is really, really dear to me. We are going to discuss menstrual hygiene. What is menstrual hygiene? I have really been embarrassed at a point in time. You know, in school, I sold myself. Why? Because nobody took the time to take me through what menstrual hygiene is. You know, I even regretted being a woman. The pain, the shame, the embarrassment. We do not want our children to go through that. So today we have brought a medical doctor to take us through how we can guide our children through this all-important path. This evening, we have Dr. Rejoice Senaya. She's a medical doctor at UGMC. She's a married woman. She's married to Mr. Victor Senaya, and their union is blessed with 3 wonderful children, 2 boys and a beautiful daughter. Dr. Rejoice, you are welcome to Radiant Parenting.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are happy you gladly accepted our invitation. And as I said, this topic is dear to my heart because I have suffered the shame of having menses. We do not want our daughters to go through the same experience. What is menstrual hygiene in the first place?
Okay. So menstrual hygiene is the management of menstrual period, the things that you use, the comfortability, and then the dignity in it. It is about telling our children about how natural menstrual period is and how it is part of their life and how they should accept it as part of their life and not be ashamed of it.
Good.
This is all part of menstrual hygiene.
So you mentioned some things, comfortability, so, and what?
Dignity.
The dignity.
Yes.
And then what else?
Not being ashamed.
You don't have to be ashamed.
And to accept it.
To accept it.
Yes.
Okay.
To accept that menstruation is part of a woman's life.
Okay.
Yes.
So if my parents took time to teach me some of this, I would not have been ashamed.
I'm sure.
Okay. So it means my parents didn't do well when it came to menstrual hygiene then.
You can't blame them.
It's not
They
their
didn't
fault.
know
They
too.
didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah, because my mother was an illiterate, so I wouldn't blame her for that matter.
Yeah.
So at what age do children start having menses?
So it used to be from 12 years to 15 years. But now, because of the things we eat and all other things, it's dropped to 9 years.
9
so
years.
females at 9 years are having their menses now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it means that from 9 years they can also become pregnant.
Yes.
Wow, that is serious. So what is the implication when the menstruation starts so early? Does that have any implication at all?
Unfortunately, yes, because for a typical example, fibroids, when the child starts having menses at 9 years, that means that that child will be exposed to estrogen and progesterone for a long time.
Okay.
These hormones are the ones that manage our menses.
Okay.
And these hormones have been known to result in fibroid when one is exposed to them over a long period without any breaks, like pregnancy. So if a child is starting her period at 9 years, that means that that child will continue having her period till about 25 years, at times even 30 years. Yeah. The lady is not married, and so she hasn't gotten pregnant. And this estrogen and progesterone keep coming and going every month for her to be able to have her period. So that's long exposure can prone this lady to having fibroid.
So that's one of the implications.
Yes.
When they start having their menses
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Okay. So as parents, what kind of preparations do we have to put in place? How do we prepare our daughters for menstruation?
So as parents, when you have a girl child, you should start preparing on how to educate this child on menstruation, because menstruation is part of every female's life. It is natural, and it is what makes us women. So I think by age 7, you should start educating your girl child about menstruation or menstrual period. You talk about menstrual period, where it comes from. You should be able to tell the child that a time will come that you start having blood coming from your vagina.
Okay.
And when that happens, this and this and that, talking about the pad to use, how clean it should be, how clean you should be yourself, taking your bath 2 times a day, having a clean pants, wearing clean underwears, washing your hands after changing your pad, the time to change your pad, like from between 4 to 6 hours, you have to change your pad always. And then when you go and change your pad, how you clean yourself so that you don't soil yourself. You have to give all this education to your girl child so that she'll be ready for the menses. She will be expecting it. So when it comes, she's not shocked. She's not at a loss. She's not asking herself, what is this? Why am I seeing blood in my vagina? No. Yeah. So we need to educate them. And we need to also educate them in the presence of their daddies and their brothers.
Okay.
That will break that stigma that comes with menstruation, the shame that comes with menstruation. When they go to school and unfortunately they soil themselves and the guy sees them, they become very frustrated. It's difficult for them to concentrate in class because of the stigmas attached to menstrual period. But if we are able to educate them in the open at home, in the presence of their brothers and their fathers, it will break that stigma.
To break the stigma.
Yes, please.
Good. But you've said a lot concerning the preparation. You said we have to tell them where the blood is coming from.
Yes.
And why it's coming. then how they can clean themselves,
Yes.
how the kind of pad they should use,
Yes.
how they should take care of themselves. So the things they are using, they have to take care of them, like the pad.
So let's talk about the things they use.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So in Ghana, I say that pads are the most dominant, but we have other things that we use to collect menstrual period, like the tampons, like the collecting cups, yes, and menstrual cloths and all others. In the past, we heard that our mothers used to use cloth.
Actually, I have used a cloth before, but it wasn't comfortable.
Yes.
One day I was walking, then the cloth fell.
Oh my God.
Can
that
you
would be
imagine?
so horrible.
I felt so bad. And you know what I did? You didn't think I went to pick the cloth?
I'm not sure.
I just walked quickly as if I wasn't the one. But in my head, I felt so ashamed. And in those times, where's the money to go and buy the pad? You didn't have the money. You just have to get the cloth and wash it. But that cloth, it smells so much. So the pad is better.
Very bad.
But nowadays, our children are not having the pads too.
Yes, and people also use tea rolls that flakes. I have used tea roll before.
I've used that one too before.
Yes, at times it flakes. The roast tea roll used to flake a lot.
We don't have rolls anymore.
No, but now, even though the tea rolls are improved, it's still not the right thing to use. So we need to get...
Tea rolls are not so hygienic.
No, tea rolls are not hygienic. The cloth not hygienic at all.
So the best is the pad.
The pad or the tampon or the cup. But the thing about tampons and cups is that if your child is a virgin at 9 years, at 12 years, you expect your child to be a virgin. And these tampons are supposed to be pushed in. So because of that, we do not advise them using tampons at this age. Yeah, so the pad is the best thing to go for.
Okay. So we teach our children about the kind of things they need to use to collect the blood.
Yes.
That's one.
Yes.
Then two, about they themselves.
Yes. So you have to tell your girl child, educate your girl child that when she starts seeing the menses, it means that she's in her teenage. She's in puberty, rather,
Okay.
not teenage, but puberty. Puberty comes with a lot of things, like the hormones running here and there. It comes with our bodies forming nicely with all the curves. And then it comes also with certain smells, especially in your armpit, and for the women, even in the around the vulva and the groin. So you have to educate your child on how to bath, how to keep the armpits and then the pubic area clean, and how to shave every now and then, at least once every month. Your child should be able to shave. So all those things are part of the hygiene we are talking about. So your child should be able to bath twice a day, and then your child should be able to change her pad every 4 to 6 hours, depending.
4 to 6 hours.
Yes, depending on how fast the pad soaks. Even if it is up to 6 hours and the pad is not soaked, she should change it, because there are chemicals in the pad that if she doesn't change it can also pose other health problems to her. And then when she changes her pad, she should always wash her hands. Wash her hands with soap and running water. So I advise parents that they get a small pouch for the girl child. When the child starts menstruating, keep pad in, keep sanitizer in, a little bottle of soap inside, and tissue. Even if it is the hand tissue, just keep one in, because when she goes in to change herself, she will have to clean herself. At times, the blood is able to pass beside the pad, and it's even on your thighs. So if you don't clean up, you can't bath. If you are in school, you cannot bath. So you have to use the tissue to clean yourself before you wear the new pad. Otherwise, you wear a new pad and you still swell yourself. So after cleaning herself with the tissue, she will dump the tissue and then wash her hands apply some sanitizer, and then when she goes back to class, her hands is smelling nicely. No one will
suspect
yes,
or smell
and
anything.
even if no one will suspect, she herself should be comfortable.
She'll
feel good
about herself.
Yes, because I remember when I was a child, one thing that I hated was washing my panty when it is soiled. You finish bathing and in your head, there's a scent in your head and you think that is in your hand. I remember going to do this to my mother to smell my hands. My mom was like, your hands are not smelling. But in my head, my hands are smelling. So I don't want to go close to anybody. But if she has soap, she has sanitizer. And you know sanitizers they are scented.
Yeah.
So after using it, she will feel comfortable. Yeah, she will not go to the class thinking about how smelly her hands are. Yeah.
So concerning the pad itself, how should we dispose it of? Because you see that sometimes you go to places and people just dump the pad in the dustbin and all that. Is that the right way to do
No.
How
You should never let anybody see your pad as a woman, whether it is soiled or not. You know, there are times you wear a pad the whole day and there is no flow. Even at that, you don't have to let anybody see it. So now we are kicking against the polythene bags. For me, what I used to do is to put it in a polythene bag and tie it before I dispose it, and make sure you dispose it into a dustbin, not just throwing it anywhere, because dogs can pick it and then they'll tear it around and it's all around. You see it and you know that this is my pad. That is not nice. So now you can use tissue. When you remove the pad, you fold it. After folding it, you put it in the wrapper in which you removed it from, because you are coming to wear another one. So when you remove the new one, you put the old one in that wrapper, and then you tie it either in a polythene bag or a paper.
Or maybe old newsletter,
or tissue. But at times, if the pad is so soaked, the tissue will also get soaked. So your blood will be seen, even though you think that you have disposed it well. So even though we are kicking against the polythene bags, if you have it already in the house, I'm not saying go and buy polythene bag, but if you already have some in the house, you can just fold one and put in your pouch. So when you remove it, put it inside, tie it, and put it in the dustbin.
Okay.
But by all means possible, let no one see your pad.
Let no one see your pad.
Yes.
Parents, we have a lot of work to do. So when you give birth to the girl child and people are congratulating you, remember that you have to start thinking about how to train them, especially now on menstrual hygiene. Good. Dr. Rejoice, how do we teach our children to manage the stigma associated with menses?
Okay.
Especially when they are in school and then you saw yourself, you don't know what to do. I remember those times my friends would go and get me pullover. Then you cover yourself and they'll be behind, they'll be your bodyguard so that nobody will see what has happened. And sometimes it can get so embarrassing. You stand in class to answer a question unknown to you, you have soiled your dress. Yeah. How do we manage to teach our daughters to go through that transition smoothly?
So the best thing to do is to prevent the soiling. The best thing to do is to prevent the soiling. And that is by educating her to change her pad between the 4 to 6 hours,
okay.
Clean herself well before wearing the new pad, yes. And then when it happens, at times you do all this, but you still soil yourself.
You still soil yourself.
Yes. When it happens, she should not panic. Always tell her that she should not panic. This thing is something that happens to thousands of women. It is part of women's life. And another thing is, if you educate the child very well, you will give her example of people soiling themselves, and then encourage her whilst you are educating her that in case you soil yourself in the future, someone draws your attention that you've soiled yourself, just go pick your pouch, go to the washroom, and then clean yourself, change yourself, you can remove the dress, wash where a swell. That is why she should have soap in her pouch.
Okay.
Wash where a swell and wear it. Squeeze it very well, wear it, and then it will dry in no time. If people try to make jest of you, don't mind them. Know that you are special. That is why this is happening to you. Make the child know that with or without menses, you are special.
Yeah.
God created you in his own image and his likeness. And the Bible says that you have been wonderfully
And
created.
fearfully.
Yes. And having menses is part of you being wonderful and fearful. So it is a natural thing. It is not something that should come with shame. It is natural. It is not shameful to breathe. It is not shameful to sneeze. It is not shameful to spit. So it shouldn't be shameful to have your menses.
Yeah.
At times you will not be comfortable that you stained yourself, but know that it happens.
Yeah. I remember when my daughter saw herself, she came worried, concerned. She felt embarrassed. I was like, relax, I've experienced that before several times. And because I could share my experience with her, it made her so relaxed. Yeah.
So it's important that we share these experiences even before they experience it. If they know that, oh, it happens, it's something that happens, they will not be so embarrassed. And they will have that confidence to quickly go to the bathroom and change, and then take care of themselves and come back to the class as if nothing happened. But if we don't do this education, they'll come back to the class and they are worried. They are ashamed of themselves. Whatever the teacher is teaching, they are not listening. They are only thinking about what someone is thinking about them, whilst that person is busy listening to the teacher. Yes.
Okay. That's very important. So parents, educate your children right from age 7 on menstrual hygiene. This is Radiant Parenting. We are looking at teaching your daughters menstrual hygiene. And we have Dr. Richard Senaya with us. Good. The conversation is getting interesting. Doctor, what is the importance of all this menstrual hygiene? What are the implications if our children do not stick to this kind of hygiene that you are talking about? What are the importance?
Okay. So the first and the most important one I'll talk about is infection.
Okay.
So, the period comes from the uterus, the womb. Mm-hmm. So the estrogen and the progesterone, they always prepare the womb to receive pregnancy.
Okay.
When they prepare the womb to receive pregnancy and pregnancy doesn't happen, it turns the womb shares what is there to receive the pregnancy.
Okay.
That is what comes out as the menses that we see. Mm-hmm. So when the menses is coming out, our cervix tends to open a little bit. Mm-hmm. But inside our womb, in the uterus, is very sterile. When I say sterile, it means that there are no microorganisms there. That the place is neat and clean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but our vagina is not neat and clean. Why? Because it has its own microbiome that protects it. The microbes that secrete the secretion, the discharge that we see, the clear water, sticky discharge that you see, that is what protects the vagina. Good. And the secretions are secreted by microbes, and they protect the vagina in their own way. They clean it in their own way. So those microbes are very important for the vagina. We have them all over our body, except the sterile places. So on our skin, in our mouth, in our nose, in our ears, everywhere, in our guts, like from our mouth to our anus, they are all over there. They have their own functions. And these microbes are present in our vagina. But they are not needed in the uterus. So when you are having your menses, the mouth of the uterus, we call it cervix, it opens so that the blood can drain from the uterus. If you are not hygienic, you have an infection. And if you have an infection, that infection can climb up and go into your uterus during menstruation. And that's, we call it an ascending infection, which can lead to a PID, a pelvic inflammatory disease. This pelvic inflammatory disease, if a woman gets it about 2 or 3 times, chances of her tubes getting blocked is very high.
Wow.
Yeah, and that means that reproduction in the future will
become a problem.
Yes, fertility issues. Yes. So it is very important that we manage our menstrual period in a very hygienic way so that we don't have infections climbing up into our uterus.
Okay.
Another reason why we should have a hygienic menses is for our own self-esteem.
Okay.
You know, when you have your period and you don't have pad, you are not wearing pad, you will not be comfortable. You can't even go to school. If the pad is soaked and you don't have another pad to change, you are in class but you are not in class. You are tilting yourself, trying to adjust in the seat so that you don't swell yourself. But if you have a pad and you are changing every 4 to 6 hours, when you are sitting down, you are comfortable. You can concentrate on what your teacher is teaching. Yeah, that is another one. The dignity that comes with it. Like I said, I went to show my hands to my mom one day, smell it and see whether it's smelling. If you are adopting the right hygienic process when you are having your menses, it is easy for you to feel comfortable. Because you will not go around thinking that, do I have any scent around me because of my menses? When you sit down, you are trying to close your tie so that no scent is coming from your vagina. You are uncomfortable. If you have your menses in a hygienic way, you will be comfortable. Your self-esteem will be very high wherever you are going. In those days, when you are having your menses, my time, you don't go and play. When people are playing, you don't go because your T-roll might fall. You don't play ampe. You don't do a whole lot of things because you are afraid of what might happen. But if you are using your pad and you are doing all that is needed, you are bathing twice a day, you change your pad regularly, you wash your hands, you dispose of your pad well, it gives you that confidence. You are confident when you are walking, when you are doing everything. Wherever people are going, you'll be able to go because you have nothing to worry about. So menstrual hygiene brings us comfort and dignity.
Comfort
and dignity.
And dignity.
Yes.
And the prevention of what?
Infections.
Infections.
Yes, please.
Fantastic. Good. Must we be concerned about menstrual irregularities?
Yes, at times. So when
at what point do we have to be concerned?
Yes. So when a child starts having her menses, there are times that it is irregular. At times it will come after every 2 months. At times, do you know the children are not well developed? Like 9 years, she starts having her menses. At times it will come thrice in a year. A year. Yes. So it is irregular. It is not because the child is pregnant, but because the child is not well developed, and at times the features that the child needs are not there. They are not ready, so it tends to be irregular. So when the child has regular menses and then all of a sudden 3 months she hasn't seen her period, you should be concerned.
Okay.
But when the child's period is already not regular and it's past 6 months, then you can be concerned. But there are times that a child can go 2 months without her period, and it is not because the child is sick, but because maybe the hormones couldn't do their job well, or you see, another thing that affect menses is the size of the child.
Okay.
When the child is plump, yeah, the child will tend to have her menses faster because the child has some fat in her body that produce this progesterone and estrogen to be able to have her menses. But when the child is very slim, yes, then the fats are not there. So the child will have the menses this month, and next month she will not have,
it.
Then the next month she will have her menses. And then when a child is, these teenage children, they don't want to eat and things. So when they become anemic too, then their menses will not come. When they are stressed, their menses might not come. Yeah. So all these things can affect irregularities.
So to sum it up, sometimes because they are not so developed.
Yes. Sometimes because they are not so developed. They have irregular menses.
Pressure.
Usually, when you start your menses, there will be some irregularities before.
Irregularities.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then when they are under pressure too?
When they are under pressure, they are stressed. When they are anemic. When they are very slim.
That one too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. So
you should be concerned after 3 months for those who have regular menses, and after 6 months for those whose menses are not regular. That is when you should be concerned that what is happening
after
to
3
my child.
months.
For those who have regular menses, and after 6 months for those whose menses are not regular.
Not regular.
Yes, please.
Okay, that's the formula. Okay. I know this is not part of menstrual hygiene, but because it's menstruation, how can we help our children handle menstrual pains?
Menstrual pain.
Yes.
Okay. So menstrual pains are quite normal because of the opening of the cervix. There's contraction just as in the childbirth to push the blood out. So that comes with pain. So those pains you can manage with hot water bottle. Okay. You get hot water bottle in Melcom or any of the malls. Just heat water, pour in the hot water bottle and place on their abdomen. When the blood is melted, it will come easily than when it is coming as clots.
Okay.
So the clots makes it more painful. Yeah, and then if it is too painful, you can use pain reliefs. Some people just common para is okay for them. Some people use ibuprofen and it's okay for them. Some people diclofenac, but you need to see a doctor for your doctor to give you the right medication, because diclofenac like this can make you have ulcer in your stomach as a side effect. And if you have ulcer already and you are taking diclofenac, it will worsen it. So you need to see your doctor so that the right medication is prescribed for you. And then we have PMS, we have premenstrual syndrome. Those ones, they become so painful and other associated factors that the child is not even able to go to school. At times, yes. At times 3 days prior to the menstrual period, at times 2 days prior, at times 1 week prior to the period. The child will have headache, some will be vomiting, some will have diarrhea, some will have severe abdominal pain. When it happens like that and the child is not able to go to school because of that, you should see a gynecologist.
Okay.
Yeah. But mild pain is very normal with menstruation. So you have to encourage your daughter. And people say that menstrual pain, you don't take medication, because when you take medication, this, that, there are a lot of myths out there. So the best thing to do is to see your doctor so that the doctor can direct you on what to do.
Wow. I hear to be a man is not easy, but I would dare say to be a woman is not easy either.
At all.
Men don't experience what we experience.
I agree with you.
And that brings about the mood swings and all that.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the role of fathers in guiding daughters through this path? Do fathers have a role?
They have a role.
Good.
They have a big role. I don't know about other homes, but my daughter is more close to her dad than me. In fact, all my children, because I am the strict one. So they like their dad. My daughter is very close with her dad. So the role of a father, as a father, you are not menstruating. You don't know much about menses, but because you have a girl child, you should read about menstrual period and talk freely to your girl child about menstrual period. When you as a father talk to your daughter about menstrual period, it breaks every stigma and every
connotation
around it.
It's broken.
Yes. And when you do that, it puts the girl at ease. Like I said previously, when the girl goes to class and even swells herself and other guys sees her, she will not be embarrassed. Like when the menses is like some obscure thing, something that they have to hide to talk about, something that they give terms to, like anti-rose, red danger, and all those terms. You cover it. When you cover it like that, it makes the children think that it is something that should not be talked about anyhow, something that if I saw myself, that means that the world is coming to an end. But when the father is able to talk to her daughter about menses, it's natural. It's part of every woman's life. In fact, you need to have your menses to be a woman. Otherwise, you are not a man, you are not a woman. What are you? So you need to have your menses. If the father is able to break that barrier, it is so good for the girl child. It will boost the girl child's confidence everywhere she goes.
Great. That's a very insightful information that you have shared. So concerning the mothers, how should we make it such that our daughters can freely come to us and discuss their menstrual issues with us? What kind of approach should we use?
So, as a mother, you should, like I said, you should start educating your girl child. Even at 5 years, when the opportunity presents itself, if you are having your menses and you are in pain and you look morose and your child comes to you and asks you, mommy, why are you looking like this? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Are you sick? Should I do something for you? Normally, that's what they do. That is an opportunity. You grab the opportunity. You let her know that I am having my period and I'm in some pains, but I am managing it. When you do that, she knows that you also have period.
Exactly.
Yes. So that will break every barrier about talking to you about her menstrual issues. When she is having her menses and there is an issue or there's something she wants to talk about, she will remember that, when you had your issue, you told her, so she can also confide in you. But when you don't talk to her about menses, maybe you actually taught her how to use her pad, you told her that she'll be having her menses, but you've never even told her that you too have been having menses and you too have been having pains and all those things. She will not be able to open up to you. Okay. So we have to be able to open up to our children, make them understand that whatever it is that they are about to go through, we have been going through it for number of years. We've been going through it since our teenage till now.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Oh, wonderful. Very soon, our program will be brought to an end. Today, you have the best opportunity to educate your child on menstrual hygiene. You cannot shirk your responsibility as a mother. How I wish I knew this way earlier. I tried my best, but I didn't do it as well as Dr. Rejoice has taught us. You have the opportunity to put what we have been told today into practice. Start early, educate your daughters on menstrual hygiene as early as 7 years. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, grab it, take advantage of it, and educate them. Do your best as a mother. And fathers too are not left out. She said that when fathers are involved, the daughters are able to embrace that phase of their life. They grow in confidence. The stigma that comes with menses, they are able to handle it confidently because their fathers are involved and they speak to them about it. Dr. Rejoice, what is your last word for parents on menstrual hygiene?
So my last word for parents is that make menstruation very friendly to your child by educating the child on time. Don't wait till the child starts having her menses before you start the education. Educate the child ahead of time and buy the pad, put it somewhere, let her know that your pads are here. By all means, you are going to have your menses one day. I might not be around. When it happens, this is where to get your pad, and this is how you need to take care of yourselves. Menstruation is a natural phenomenon, and it is part of us. Let your child know that it is a natural phenomenon, and help your child to accept menstruation as part of her life, and boost your child's confidence in the house. You and her father boost her confidence in the house, so that when she goes out there, nothing anybody will say will shake her. Stigma will not be a thing that will distract her or will affect her confidence. Again, I'll say that mothers, we have a lot to do as well as fathers in educating our children. And also, let us provide the things that they need to have a hygienic menstrual period. So, Mama Gifty, I'm so excited you had me on this show. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I hope that this education will liberate someone somewhere. I'm so grateful.
Great. What shall we tell our dear Dr. Rejoice Senaya? She has shared a lot with us. I have benefited so much. And I believe you have also benefited so much from this program. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel, share our link with your friends, loved ones, and let's continue to have educative, entertaining insight on parenting. At Radiant Parent, we believe that parenting must be planned, it must be intentional, and it must be purposeful. We are glad you joined us. Thank you and see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, today is day 2 of our field trip, and today we are at Wampem in the Dunkwao district. It's been exciting because we have engaged about 50 to 60 farmers, teaching them good parenting and child protection principles. It's amazing the way they received us and the insight they received. They have so much enjoyed it, to the extent that one of them said that they wish they'll be here from morning till 6 p.m. just hearing what we are sharing with them. And some of their stories with us, and some of the stories even brought tears to my eyes. It means that we really have to be very intentional in the way we raise our children, so that Ghana, our communities and ourselves will be better off. Thank you.
Papa so one for me nko na your sister na akwanyim aba de ye so ye kwa ye benyim ye kan bia papa so one for ye nko ye fa ye ntu adwuma m so a wa anye na ye tena ho na ye de ye awale sisi ame won kola 4 a me ne kunu hwe na me bompa ya se me ma wie no me mba ne ba wie na o ma hwe me na because me why na wawo
Aya, enya sempo a e woseka. Ni gwefuru na ni gwefu tententente.
Wale ye no. Aja adwuma no emunya saa de ba me forso me ho se ne be ya adwuma manya adwuma nsua maanya aban adwuma no de adɔ no de me force me ho sika ni ho de ba me force me ho se ne be ya meboa me ho na me mba na ma wo omo no so meboa omo na omo anya ba bi pa gina
awo fo ni obi anya ko afa no so de abofra baby
na to su na yeboa me nsum yonko ayashi yakono wansu yansanko
Okay, good. But when you go back with you, Bema. Answer no bet near fee. Sabe. Say you here. Answer the bush and bet near fee. So you and any papa a film. A few more now also trim back. Now, bush and not here and we are day. Oh, yeah.
Do you think this will be a positive, this will bring the needed positive impacts to the life of the farmers as far as this good parenting and child protection education is concerned?
Yes, please. Because we always come to meet them, talk to them about child labor issues and issues that affect the life of children, the farmers' children. So, with good parenting, as we met and then interacted with them, to help them understand the value of their children that they live with in these rural areas, so that they will be able to help the children to rise to become proper people in future.